So today we are going to talk about abandonment and isolation when you got CPTSD or trauma-related issues. Because honestly, that's like living with a nervous system that always thinks the Titanic is going to sink and you're on it. The Titanic was like 100 plus years ago, man. You're fine. Just chill. Who's over there and who are you talking to? So you ever send a text message and someone takes a little bit long to respond to you and you automatically go into this, I'm unlovable, I'm stupid, why did I say it? Oh man, they're not going to respond anyway. They're going to just abandon me like everyone else. And suddenly you're in this childlike state. But meanwhile, the other person is probably just taking a nap because they worked the overnight shift and they told you that they're going to go take a nap. So when you grow up with trauma, your body rewires itself to think of distance as danger. And that usually comes from a parent who is neglectful, leaves you hanging, and just emotionally distant. And when you grow up, that translates as if people are a little busy and they can't answer you right away, then you feel like, well, I'm unlovable and they're going to abandon me anyway. In a way, that's kind of like waiting with the door open, but no one ever comes in through that door. And if you ever experience that feeling, it could be downright exhausting. So now let's talk about isolation. And this could be a real sneaky one because in order to protect yourself from that abandonment complex that you developed through the childhood trauma, you learn how to pre-abandon people, or better known as the Gen Z slang of ghosting, which I used to be an expert at that. And every now and then I try to do it to my wife and she's like, bro, chill out. You've been doing this for 12, 13, 14 years. If you leave me, going to kill you. So I stopped doing it because I realized that's just a trauma response, an emotional flashback that brings me into this abandonment complex that I used to have, healing, kind of have, still healing. And this is done not because you don't care, but that's your brain's way of saying, they're going to leave me anyway, so I might as well leave them first, right? Because being abandoned hurts. And it doesn't feel good. Let's just name it for what it is. But here's the kicker. Isolation is like both the shield and the sword at the same time. You feel safer when you do it and you ghost everyone, and then you feel real nice and comfortable when you're alone. But you also start to feel lonelier than ever and you wonder why no one's coming. That's like locking yourself in a panic room and then you go, where's everyone at? Well, you just locked yourself in a panic room. No one has access to you. How can they come in there? And I'm making fun of it because I've done this so many times. I try not to do it anymore. I'm very aware of when I'm going to start doing this, so I don't do it. Like I got to text one of my buddies that I haven't spoken to in like 2 weeks because I know I can just let it go. Like we're supposed to meet up for Bible study and I just kind of let it go and I'm like, well, whatever. He's busy anyway. Yeah. Shut up, Joe. Text him. Text him. So all seriousness, let's talk about how to fix this because you're broken. You're broken, bro. Well, first off, you can't just tell your brain, yo, calm down, bro. Just chill. That's like telling a fire to calm down, right? A grease fire and then throwing water on it. Good luck with that. You're going to make the fire much bigger. So in order to actually learn how to calm down from a neurological standpoint, you have to re-experience and rewire your brain in order to feel safe and not withdraw, isolate, or pre-abandon people, aka ghost people. And what that means in practical terms is making connections with people who are safe. My wife never abandoned me, even though I've pre-abandoned her like bazillion times, but she's stable enough to know that this guy right here, he's always talking that crazy stuff, but he ain't leaving. So she helps me help me. She helps me help myself. Keeps me grounded because she's balanced. She never dealt with trauma the way I dealt with it. And she loves me and we spend a lot of time together. So you find connections like that. It doesn't have to be a wife. It doesn't have to be a spouse. It could be a friend. It could be a family member that helps you stay grounded and who's consistent, who always shows up. Don't find people who just one-nighted you or didn't call you back. Those people are not going to work. You need consistent, stable human beings in your life to help you relearn that and what they call co-regulation. Look that up. Pretty cool. And my personal favorite is you have to challenge the constant, I'm the problem. I'm the problem. I'm weird looking. I talk weird. They're going to abandon me anyway. You have to talk back to that. You're not broken. You're not stupid. Yes, this mole is kind of ugly, but it's not the reason why people don't like me. I don't know why I said that. That's crazy. I actually like my mole. Although my children always like turn it on and off. My son comes up to me and goes, doop. And I just go, he's crazy. So you got to stop saying things like, well, they left because I'm too broken. I'm too needy. And just say, well, I'm at Target. Of course they left because they don't know me. They just got their groceries and they left. That's normal. The healing journey really begins when you start to realize that isolating every time is just a really unhealthy pattern. Learning to connect, learning to be uncomfortable when people start getting close, because it is a foreign thing when you're used to being abandoned and abused, that when people get close to you who truly love you, that's normal and that's how it should be. In a healthy nervous system, people who experience co-regulation and connection are fine with just meeting people. I know my wife at church, she's connected to a whole bunch of people. People love her, she loves them, she makes connections, they do dates, they go on play dates, like just very normal, healthy connections. And over time, when you experience those little things that build up, you begin to build tolerance for connection as opposed to tolerance for isolation and withdrawal. And again, I'm an expert at knowing that CPTSD will make you believe that being alone is the best thing for you, when in reality, if you do the research on the studies of being alone and isolation and withdrawal and how bad that is for multiple systems in our body, then you realize we're programmed for connection. And I'm not saying you got to jump right in, because it's hard when you've been traumatized, but relationships that are positive for you are always going to be healthier than being alone and isolated. The beautiful and good news to all of this, to wrap it up, is neuroplasticity. That means your brain can rewire. Basically, your brain is plastic. You can melt it to different forms, reconnect, do this dance, go off focus, out of focus. Anyway, your brain can change, you can rewire over time through consistent little micro patterns that will eventually go, you know what? I'll go out and meet this person, or I'm going to text my pastor back so we can do Bible study like we were before vacation and summer hit. And that's connection. Slowly, surely, and curely. That's a cool way to end it. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys for watching. Leave that like, leave that subscription, and I'll catch you next time. Just going to stand here awkwardly. Bye.